Yo, yo, can y'all see me okay?
Yo, 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 yes, sir, yes, sir.
Yeah. Check, check. Mike. Check, check, check. Magnus, what's going on, Magnus, man? How you doing, Magnus? Dap me up, hairy knuckles and all. Different little setup. I'm in a whole nother place, man. Gotta switch it up. You know what I mean? NickMoses at the dark. You know,
Yeah,
we relaxing, chilling. Dr. Specimen, how you doing, man?
not too bad, not too bad. Hey, normally I'm at a desk. I know y'all can't tell, but I'm actually in bed right now. So,
Yeah, truthfully, man, I don't know how, And Magnus, am I too loud? Am I too quiet? Like I feel like I don't know. I'm not used to talking out the mic like the Xbox mic. You know what I mean? I feel like,
you sound fine
boom,
to
I got him.
me,
Left,
but
left, boom,
I only have the one earbud in, but you sound fine to me.
All right, cool. Man, I guess we should just dive into it, bro. I got so much, so much. You know what? I have a story breakdown. You know how I usually have my story breakdowns to go through. And it's a quick little about paragraph that kind of breaks a little things down and we can just go through everything and start showing everything. Should we start there? Should we start showing the document? That's special. How would you like to proceed on this?
You know what? I think let's start with the breakdown. Let's start because I even specifically put in the Discord. I said that the latest lawsuit development. Now, unfortunately, that could mean about 900 million different lawsuits Nintendo is currently involved in. Let alone the 500 billion they've done in the past 5 minutes. Let alone the past couple of years. So, start with a breakdown.
All right, cool. Now, I got a quick breakdown. Let me know if we need to go further back, but I'll cover a quick breakdown. So I know in June of 2024, Nintendo filed a lawsuit against modded hardware, or would I don't like saying people's government, man. I don't even feel right. But your man Ryan, I aka Homebrew Homie. I haven't heard that name before. Have you heard that name? Have you been known as Homebrew Homie? It's something I don't.
That is his Twitter, I believe. Let me
Okay,
confirm he
see?
deleted it.
I'm
Yep.
learning something new, man. But Nintendo claims that he sold mod chips. Okay.
Those
And
still even plays for Twitter Blue or X
oh,
Premium, whatever it's called.
okay. But Nintendo claims he sold mod chips. I believe they believe he even sold mix switches, modded consoles that bypass their piracy methods. They also believe that some of these devices had pirated games. And it goes deeper, but all of this is infringing on their IP or their intellectual, rights,
Allegedly.
some people say. Um, Now, that was in June of 2024 that was filed. There's been latest developments right now. Should we go back even further than 2024?
I
Or is
think
that about the beginning?
that hit well. So, thing is, I had never heard of this guy before, um, until the mix switch stuff, because he was one of the first, at least one of the first U.S. based developers. I don't know if he was one of the first or U.S. based sellers. I don't know if he was the first seller ever, but he was one of the first U.S. based sellers, and so that's how I heard of him. I think that's how a lot of people heard of him. I don't really know what he was doing before. Um, I'm looking through his Twitter right now. Maybe it's a little bit creepy,
No.
but yeah, he was also a mod chip seller too, and he's got like, I don't know, he's got a motorcycle. He's got post a lot of stuff on Instagram.
And modded hardware, first of all, I gotta say shout out to you, man. I ain't got no beef with you, man. This is crazy. I actually, I've been saying it. On one side, I understand business when Nintendo got the right to protect their intellectual property. By all means, when you start playing with fire, you can get burned. I understand how that go. But on one
Well,
side,
he did take his Instagram down.
okay. But on one side, I do hope something comes from this because, and not just like he denies it and he gets, doesn't have to pay anything. Scott, I kind of just wish there's some development because Nintendo, as of recently, I have mentioned to you earlier, have been aggressively, especially it seems like 2024, it seems like they're getting more and more aggressive towards piracy and especially piracy towards their older games. And I don't, necessarily know if they're just like, hey, Do they have some plans? Do they have some coming down the pipeline? But it seems like the retro market's booming, retro booming. And here comes Nintendo aggressively, not only going after fan art, but they're going after any of these old games, old mods, old different things. It just seems like to me, I understand them protecting it, but they're going aggressive. But I understand right now he has stepped forward and is taking this case head on. And not only taking this case head on, has stated different um, defenses. Like, there's certain things I know you mentioned, like statute of limitations, completely denied of any wrongdoing. I think talk about fair use, talk about also, not actually owning modded hardware. Like, there's a lot of things that are on both sides of this thing. Now, of course, I believe, it's Nintendo. It's Discovery, and I told you how Discoveries are. Discovery is like open wide and take everything. I'm going to give you everything, and you're gonna have to take it. Like it's gonna be nasty with Discovery. But anything you seen on Twitter, was anything different? Like, has it been post anything? Does Modern Hardware even mention this? You know what I mean? And I
No,
don't
so
even want to call them out as government. I feel bad like
it's it's been dead as hell. But what I find really interesting is that he hasn't taken anything off of his website. He still has all the mod chip stuff on there. He's got tinfoil in his Twitter profile picture. He's still got Flint, Michigan, right in his location. So he still's got his location right there. Um, Still saying he's selling mod chips. He still has the advertisement about being a MIG switch reseller. A lot of people are calling him a scammer in the comments. Also, I just realized that one of his latest videos, specifically the one from October 18th, shows him. It's a TikTok video of his,
okay.
showing off a modded Switch. You want to know what his TikTok username is?
Enlighten me.
Ryan Daly 89.
Man, now see, now I don't feel bad
And,
about saying it's government. Now I don't feel
and,
bad. I actually felt
and
bad
this
for a moment ago.
this
Paul, what's up, Devin?
motherfucker. If you look at the thing, the thing we're about to show right now, this dude actually tries to claim that he does not own modded hardware. Kind of. Let me just let me pull this up real quick.
All right, and that's good. And I want to throw in it because and when you're going in on that, we know what Nintendo did with Team Executor. We know what happened, man. They not only targeted piracy, they went after the Yuzu emulator, right?
Yeah,
They're
see
going
this.
after it. Oh man, we got it
This the
pulled up.
good.
That's the PDF. Now that's the actual PDF response. Is that correct?
Yes, and I also want to mention now. First off, I want to mention two things. Number one, I do have a Wallow article I wrote up real quick for this. Hasn't been published yet, but I do need to. I cited them in the article I wrote, and I'm going to cite them here. Massive shout outs to Torrent Freak. They actually kind of shine the light on this, on on this being out there.
Big shout
So
out to Torn Freak, man. And was that
actually,
Ernesto? Ernesto that wrote that article?
I believe that was Ernesto. It's always Ernesto because Ernesto's just cool like that.
Yeah, he
Let
is
me
cool.
actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I actually want to real quick send the
Yeah.
stream to one of my other buddies.
Definitely was Ernesto. Big shout out to Ernesto. Dap up, really rock with Ernesto. Does great work over there at Torn Freak. But
Why do I
Paul said
remember
dude was
that
straight up selling bootleg games, man. Paul said he's straight up selling them, bro. Like that, it's no either. Paul said he capping if he ain't. And look, I'm gonna say this. Just always, I gotta put the disclaimer out there. Modded hardware, I ain't got that because I know how it is, man. You know what I mean? But it's right now, it's looking nasty. That joint say United States District Court for the Washington District of Washington at Seattle. That says Nintendo of America, a Washington corporation, is the plaintiff, and the defendant is Ryan Michael Daly, aka Modded Hardware.
Well, and look at this. It even says doing business as modded hardware in individual. So they're not leaving any stone unturned. Like
They not, man. They not. And this is really nasty, bro. And as we go through this, this is a public document. Anybody can go ahead and pull it up. We don't have anything special, right? You can just go ahead and actually, I believe there's a link directly on Torrent Freak. It may be referenced now in Wololo if you have it there in your article as well. So big shout out. Check out Wololo. Love Wololo.
Check out Torrent Freak. Torrent Freak's awesome.
Oh yeah, Torrent. Oh, definitely, definitely. Check out both. If you got time, shit, why not? Check out both. Nintendo America, along with its parent Nintendo Company, develops and distributes the Nintendo Switch game consoles. Then they go yada 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 yada. They give the whole thing. These security features are intended to sophisticate technological. No, that's crap, 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 crap. Yeah, it's a bunch of different jargon. What their systems are set to do, protect, and you know. Okay, I ain't got all that. Yep. Prevent, yeah, it's just protect to prevent from anybody playing in pirated games, pirated shit. We got it. Okay.
Defendant is without sufficient information to either admit or deny the allegations of this paragraph, and on that basis denies them.
Oh man, let's go ahead. Hold up, man. If I had my sounds, that is a good retort. But a defendant is without sufficient information to either admit or deny the allegation of this paragraph, and on that basis denies it. So he neither admit or denies. That is yet to be proved.
That's one of the defenses of all time, I must say.
Yeah, it's either not gonna admit or deny. Don't know. Hey, I'm not. I have the right to not say.
Maybe I broke federal copyright law. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm admit or deny. Have no idea. Right. So no idea of any wrongdoing of anything going on. Can't admit or deny. Really has no idea. All right. So we understand and you're right. That can be a defense. Now, is it a liable defense that's going to hold up in court? I don't think so, right? Even if you don't know you do a crime, you still could be technically held liable. And even if you knew or you didn't know, you still could be held. I kind of feel like I understand. That's to each his own. But now this is another section here. By this section, Nintendo of America seeks redress for and put an immediate stop to ongoing willful, unlawful conduct by defendant Ryan Michael Daly. Defendant is the owner and operator of the website www.moddedhardware.com. Via the website, defendant sells a variety of products specifically designed and with no commercial purpose other than to circumvent Nintendo's technological protection measures. Among these products and hardware chips that disable the Nintendo Switch console's built-in access and copy control technology, aka mod chips, as everybody knows, as well as devices that allow pirated games to be copied to or placed on Nintendo Switch compatible memory cards, aka throw the MIG switch in there too as well, or allow unauthorized copying of the authentic Nintendo Switch game cartridges, the MIG dumper. Let's add that as well. So collectively, we'll just say the MIG devices. So the MIG chips and MIG devices are referred to collectively here on in from resting on this document. We're just going to call them circumvention devices. Additionally, for those without the technical expertise to install mod chips, defendant offers the circumvention services. He says where he modifies Nintendo Switch consoles and install mod chips. So if you're scared to get the hardware touched, I got this for you. That's part of his circumvention services. Defendant sells Nintendo Switch consoles with mod chips pre-installed and offers mail-in mod chip and I hate to say it, man. We know what's going on. The mail-in mod chip installation services. We got somebody, Paul, already shouted that out, okay? Where users can send defendant their Nintendo Switch console for him to install mod chips. Additionally, as part of the defendant's circumvention services, guess what? Also, they're stating he did. They're stating he installed a suite of unauthorized software. Okay, a suite. So we don't know what the suite is, and I'm kind of curious if they go through and say specifically, but they do, and we go further into saying some of these things. But go ahead, Dr. Spence, you're gonna say something.
They don't even, this isn't even the pirated games. This is just the homebrew. They call it unauthorized
software.
Unauthorized software, but so they're talking about modify their function to enable the play of pirated games. So that's like probably tinfoil and the SIG patches. Decrypt, copy, and distribute Nintendo Switch games. That's probably like Gold Leaf and also probably tinfoil as well. Unauthorized Nintendo Switch. Use unauthorized Nintendo Switch firmware. I don't know if that means Atmosphere or if they mean like Daybreak, like
no, it's not Atmosphere. Atmosphere is perfectly
legal
to install.
Where the fuck did you come from, Magnus? God damn, you scared me.
I threw my dog Magnus in, dabbed me up, Magnus, Hairy Knuckles, and all. He came in proper timing too. He waited till you paused.
Scared the shit out of me. Jesus Christ.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he said no, they're not talking about Atmosphere. That's not any of the software they're referring to. I see Lockpick there mentioned as one of the softwares, and
Atmosphere has nothing, has no keys, has nothing to encrypt or decrypt files, right?
Yep.
So it's perfectly legal. Anything that, like lockpick that can grab keys and stuff like that, that's illegal. You know, like
See,
I do installs, but I don't provide sig patches. I provide Atmosphere and Hitachi, however you say it, but I don't put lockpick on there. I don't put anything on there that contains any code of Nintendo's.
Is there any legal
here's
reason that you would need that? Like you would need keys, just strictly legal
emulator.
reason.
Well,
Is
I mean,
that?
in
But
order
will
to
that hold up in
play
court?
Switch games, you
I
have
was
to
gonna say
have,
that.
yeah, you have to have sig
There you go.
patches, but they're taken out of Atmosphere on purpose, so
Well,
that
and,
way
So
it's legal.
well, so here's the thing, though. Here's the thing about Hecate, though. I actually think Hecate is putting itself in a dangerous position because they have a built-in lockpick button. Now you have to get a lockpick yourself, but they're kind of endorsing lockpick there, and I feel like that's gonna bite them in the ass at some point if they don't take that out.
I think he's still holding it responsible for other people to do it, though. I think that's a tough one to fight. Like in court, you might be able to fight that. I think you can fight that. You
You
know,
could, but it's opening them up to a DMCA that they don't need to be opening themselves up to. If I were the Hecate devs, I would take out the lockpick button entirely. Just be completely, because it's the only payload in there that gets its own button. No other payload, fucking Argon NX, different like the different mod chip toolboxes, all of that stuff. None of those have their own dedicated button. Specifically, lockpick gets its own, and it's basically like the only payload that is that's been DMCA. I'm not aware of any other. Well, besides SXOS, but that's a bit of a different case. I'm not aware of any other payload for anything being DMCA'd except for lockpick. So I don't know. If I were them, I'd get rid of that.
okay, all right. No, I'm with you on that, and I'm glad Magnus you were able to clarify it. Now, I want to ask, so we're gonna go through more,
Oh, by the way,
but
real quick,
go
denied.
ahead. Okay. All right. So deny is the answer. So he just flat out denies it. Said that's not him.
Which
It's not
also
his.
includes he's denying that he's just denying that he's the owner and operator of modded hardware.
Yeah. I mean that's flat out what you're saying. Pretty much when you deny it. Now I want to ask because we're gonna go through more. Does anybody think automatically what the conclusion is? Does anybody think anything interesting is gonna come out or any different conclusion than what we've seen Nintendo settle most of their cases like?
Mm,
Think it's gonna be any different? Damn. Magnus, you think it's gonna be any different, a little bit different, or it's gonna be the same way?
He's gonna get them cheeks clapped.
yes,
Damn.
sir.
So let me ask, better or worse than Gary Bowser? Because we already know Gary Bowser, I think, from my understanding, it was 14.5 million, and there's 2.5 million I think he has to pay back, and I think the other 12 or something he owes to the states here.
I
But if
don't think
he's
he's
not living
high.
in the
I don't
states.
think he's high profile enough to get that kind of cheek clapping.
But then
Mm,
again,
there we go.
if they
See?
have a log of how many Switches and other consoles he sold with games, they can say,
I'm
this
with him.
console had X amount of games, this caused X amount of damage. This console has this amount of games, it caused this amount of damage.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're looking at an even bigger fine, probably.
That's what I mentioned because you're talking about infringements, right? And then you start talking about per infringement, and we could talk about substantial amount, and especially how much they have track of. Now, again, we know they go up to a high number, and then hopefully they're gonna want you to settle, right? But this is in discovery right now. The discovery phase is critical. It's the it's the most critical part. This is gonna be nasty for my man. Okay, I don't know what all he's defending himself. Do we got any lawyers on here? Is there any lawyers on this paperwork? Do we got one lawyer, a prepaid legal? Like, do we got anybody?
Oh, also,
That ain't good. That ain't good, man.
interestingly, as we were talking, lockpick just got updated.
Oh yeah, for 19.0. Shout out, shout out Lockbit. 19.0 firmware just dropped, so everybody know. Nintendo Switch. We try to be in the loop. That 19.0 firmware drop, man, and Lockbit just updated, so you can get your keys. Atmosphere is gonna be. I'm not sure if it's already been updated, but I'm sure everybody who's accidentally had their dog update can now fix their Switch. You know what I mean? That's typically how it goes. Uh,
Defendant not only offers the hardware and firmware to create and play pirated games, but he also provides his customers with copies of pirated Nintendo games. Typically, when a customer purchases a hacked console or the circumvention services, Defendant pre-installs on the console a portfolio of ready-to-play pirated games, including some of Nintendo's most popular titles such as Super Mario, The Legend of Zelda, and Metroid games. Denied.
Yo, yo, I'm glad he denied that, man, because they trying to do him bogus, man. They trying to say that, man. And we all now let's be honest, we got to keep it real here. It's Nick Moses at the Dark. We real. Everybody out here know how I go in the underground. People who done, let's say, any modding services, you have been asked, can you hook me up with the games? Right? It's always been asked. It's been something that get asked all the time. And you got the choice. You got your own choice. You can lay down and the money talk, right? They say, man, I give you $300, man. Just let me down about 50 hard titles. And then you could think you could quickly get those 50 hard titles and get paid. But this is what Discovery's gonna pull out. This is what Discovery's gonna pull out. It's gonna pull out every single one of those, all email communications, all phone communications, your website. Oh my goodness, there's every single communication that went through there, anything you contacted or who wrote into that website. And if you went to that website, whoever's here right now, if you're listening, if you went to Modded Hardware, believe
Oh,
me,
here we go.
and don't be surprised, I probably went to a
Oh,
couple
oh,
websites
look
they
at
got
this.
pulled to.
Look at this. It's that simple. Go to modded hardware on archive.org, and here's a modded new Nintendo 3DS XL with 8 shop. It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Man, my man, Mighty Hardware out here. Now, one thing I'm gonna say is, man, because I don't want nobody to have to pay for it. I really feel bogus because, first of all, on one hand, he did get warned. He got some warnings, man, from Nintendo to stop, and I don't know how that went. But I think
He got
mainly
two
this.
warnings, if I'm not mistaken.
Damn, man, what's wrong with you, man? I ain't that. What the hell wrong with you, man? You got two times. Why can't you stop? What the hell's going now? Let's play through this. Let's play both sides of this, right? One side you got
Right on here.
Nintendo.
He's got
And,
everything on here. It even
oh
comes
my
with the
lord.
SX Gear
Ooh, he
boot.dad
got
for
the
some
dump
fucking reason.
saves. Ooh, he got the boot dot dat from SX Gear. My man loaded. Oh no, he put what he put on there. Modded hardware, bro. Let
I
me
do
let me
not condone piracy at all. Bullshit! You have 8 shop
yo,
on one of your fucking systems.
let me let me go ahead and explain something to my man Modded Hardware, some street talk, man. You know, you can't do that, man. You just can't do that. And I know how tempting it is because you got a website and you start to gain traffic and it's very easy to just get customers. And I could only imagine, if you starting to get traffic and people know you do good jobs and how much money you get, right? But you can't be doing this out in public, man. It ain't a good look. It's easy to be found. It's easy to be seen. At least you can't put the software you putting on there, man. You can't load it with shit, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't load it with shit, man. This got me scared for Joe. Hey, Joe, man. Joe, Joe, you see, if I hope you watching, Joe. Joe, man, please, if you got anything up, Joe, just take it down, man. They watching, Joe. They hot on you, Joe. They,
Seriously.
You know, he could have been like one of those eBay sellers and show pictures of it, but not claim it has it on there.
Shout
yeah,
out to Paul. Shout out to Paul Kiesling. He got a warning for each cheek.
right. He said he got a warning for. Oh, damn, Paul.
They spanked one cheek. They spanked the other, and now they're going in. No lube.
Yeah. Now, do we think one thing I'm hoping for that this is why I think he, moving forward with, fighting against the lawsuit. I think it would have been a worse punishment. He felt like that punishment was so deafening, deafening to him. He's like, no, I can't go through with this. I have to fight back. And hopefully, maybe he can get the book thrown at
He
him, right?
could
But
have
it's possible
just
that maybe some of
fucking
these things that they're
stopped.
alleging could be. Stop. Now, what if? Let's play through some what if. So let's play through both of that. He's stating defendant is without sufficient information to either admit or deny. He don't really. He's claiming that he don't know what's going on. He's not really modded warfare. He don't know why they putting this all together like this. Now, of course, we are right here all right now. Like we obviously know. So I can only imagine how it's gonna go in the discovery process. But could there be anything to come from this of any good? Maybe now Nintendo can't sit here and say, "Hey, there's 40,000 ROMs on here. That's 760 trillion." Right? They can't do that no more. They now got to be like it's 40,000 ROMs, and these ROMs we can't get the original value of them when they were last being sold. We now got to do them for 50 cents if they're not being sold. Like
I
we ain't
also
something. Can we get something to go the good way? Because right now, I ain't gonna lie, Nintendo track record like the feds, man.
Oh, here we go. On March 15th, NOA representatives personally contacted defendant to advise him that by selling and offering the devices, he is in willful violation of Nintendo's rights. In order to avoid litigation, defendant agreed both verbally and in signed writing to cease his infringing conduct in reliance on these representations. Jesus. NOA refrained from filing a lawsuit at that time. And he denies that. Which I could have sworn they had included the thing that. Okay, well, actually, no.
Yo, that was my twin.
That's what I'm. There you go, man. See, Magnus is on it, man. That's my dab me up, man. See, I need you as my lawyer, man. There you go. I would have been just like that if I'm modded hardware. I would look at Magnus. He said, "That's my twin." I said, "Man, let me get that lawyer right there." He thinking. He trying something because right now this seems almost ridiculous. It seems almost laughable. I'm gonna be honest.
I would have, dude. Listen, maybe this guy just has a giga ego or something, or maybe he's like the sociopath to end all sociopaths. I'm not sure, but if it's for me, I'd have went. I just got the deal of my life. I got to get away with for months selling mod chips and selling Switch and 3DS consoles with pirated games on it and installing mod chips. I made a fuck ton of money off of it. I get to keep the money from it, and Nintendo's not going to sue me anymore. Can't do it anymore, unfortunately. But I got to do all of that and avoid a lawsuit. I'd buy a lottery ticket after that. I would say, fuck yeah, I'm gonna stop. Already took the website offline, sold the domain. Have a good night.
Yo, he killed it with that. Shout out to the ladies. He beat it to yo. That's so funny. I almost died laughing.
Sucker.
Yo, yeah, can you dig it, sucker? Chelsea Wave, what's going on? Dap me up. Yo, so let's play through it. If he's saying in this, if everything he's denying so far currently, that means he's stating that he is not either Ryan Michael Daly or
Why should be literally
Ryan Michael Daly is not modded hardware. Is there any possible way that there's something that's linked directly that says, "Hey, I'm Ryan Michael Daly, aka modded hardware"? Is that anywhere? Is there anything to point directly to say, like, has he stated or anything that says Ryan Michael Daly, my modded hardware?
Like I said, his
Twitter
account.
was that his Twitter that you were mentioning?
His Twitter was Homebrew Homies, which they said were connected. He has moddedhardware.com/shop in his as his Twitter link, and he said on there, "We are a distributor for the MiGSwitch, taking pre-orders. First order we have is small, moddedhardware.com," and then you scroll to the tweet right below that, and there's a TikTok page from Ryan Daly 89, which I'm betting 89 is his birth year, so if they had this age, they could also say, even if somehow, some fucking how, this is all a misunderstanding, how are you going to explain the birth year in the TikTok?
Nah, you can't explain the birth year, man. You caught you caught with the birth year, man. It's like, all right, you lying. Hey, the 05 is not my birth year. If everybody wondering, NickMoses 05, NickMoses. Nope.
Secretly, Nick's been 18 to 19 this whole time.
Definitely, the 05 is not that. Anybody thinking, oh, he was born in 05. He's a young man, Oh yeah.
So yeah, they contacted him 2 other times after that initial time, and he just ignored them, which he apparently denies. All right, let's see. Okay, so now they're listing all the things that he's violated. He denies it. I'm not even gonna bother with that. Although what's funny is
He denied all that, man.
Defendant has himself violated and induced his customers to violate their agreement with NOA, including the. See, that's kind of funny though. Technically, kind of, sort of. Well, I don't know. Maybe the way he was doing it, probably this isn't the case. But it'd be really funny if you buy a Switch, install a mod chip, and then never touch Nintendo software. Like you just go right into like using it as a Linux tablet. Technically, you're not violating their license agreement because you're not using Nintendo software and you didn't agree to the license agreement.
Okay.
So
now, you make a valid point.
ooh, you know what? That's what I would do. You know what I would do? I would start up a mod shop that actually the second I get my Switch in, I wipe the eMMC, install the mod chip, and then install Linux and Android onto it and say, there you go, there's a new Linux/Android tablet.
Okay.
Oh,
Now,
that would really boil their blood.
I was about to say,
Yeah,
that's just gonna make them go even ham, like
is-
even more
is-
crazy. Oh,
is
we got
that-
them.
Is that violating their end user?
Yep.
I wiped your whole
Circumvent
software.
it. You circumvent it. That's it. It's over with, buddy. We got
They
you.
can't get me for copyright infringement, though. They can't get me for violating their YOLA. I didn't violate your YOLA. I never accepted it because I never used
Nope.
your software and I never touched your copyright.
We're gonna get you.
Hey, if Nvidia wants to go at me, have Nvidia go at me. I violated their mod chip, or I violated their processor.
Yo, what do you think the worst case scenario for this is? We mentioned amounts of money, right? So we got a lot of damages in as far as money. We got that means so if when this goes to discovery, if they say, hey, you owe this amount of money, let's put it in the millions. You also can no longer operate the website, right? They're gonna shut that down. That's gonna be part of the permanent, permanent. What do they call it? Injunction or something like that. It's definite. That's done. Website's over with. Okay. Then what if something else comes up? What if there's more dirt? What if there's even more things that could come out of this?
Well, and that's why he's an idiot for letting it get to discovery. Because guess what? This stuff that they have on him, this is all the obvious shit. What if they dig deep down and they find out that he's running some kind of fucking torrent website? Or they find out that he has deep connections on the back end to someone else they've been looking for, and he's just compromised them, or he's compromised some other service. I mean,
I agree.
this guy
I
is
bet
so
you he'd
Or
Yeah.
he's been doing it for 10 plus years, and they got all the log.
All
stuff
they
as
need.
well.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that I wouldn't be too worried about because, I mean, from the looks of it, he's either fucked or he's super fucked. But I mean, either way, you're fucked. And it's like, do you completely give up on life, or do you say, well, I'll never be completely happy ever again because I'll always be in debt, or wow, I'm in so much debt that like it's not worth.
He's gonna play.
continuing.
He's gonna plead insane.
Yeah, he gonna have to do something. Cause see, he
He's
talking
acting
like a
pretty
lawyer.
fucking insane. No lawyer going against Nintendo's crack team.
But you know what? I honestly believe that's gonna change. I'll bet money. If I had to bet my paycheck, he's not gonna go through this without a lawyer the entire
Oh
time.
fuck no.
He's gonna hire counsel. Like through this,
He's
he's
not.
gonna hire counsel. It might be
I
a
fully
front
don't
right
think he
now.
because no one. I wouldn't take him as a client. No one else is gonna take him as a client after seeing how he's been acting so far.
And you're right. That's gonna be the shitty part, right? Is taking him on as a client. But there's gonna be somebody's gonna take him as a client. Somebody.
Especially because he filed this already. If I'm a lawyer, I'm gonna say you already fucked yourself. You already filed this fucking thing.
And if I take the case, I'm hoping for the I want to plea it out anyway. We can, please. You know what I mean? Can we plead this out anyway? Like, will you accept this? Can we please plead this out, please? Like, please. Like,
So-
I'm begging at this point. What?
So they're saying without intervention of the court, he will continue to do this and will continue irreparable harm. He denies that. This is them. Defendant is without sufficient information to either admit or deny the allegations of this paragraph, and on that basis denies them. So he doesn't know if Nintendo of America can uphold the copyright of Nintendo of Japan.
Yo, and
That
lot
just
of
makes him
this-
look stupid.
That's what I was gonna say. So, but in this, so let's say that is his defense. I can technically not specimen. Is it possible that I can forget? Can I forget? Is that a legal defense? Can I forget?
No, fuck no. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse.
Well, we won't say ignorance of the law, but let's say, something happened 8 years ago. I forgot. I don't remember. Did I put some mods on somebody's
Oh,
system? I have no
so
idea.
so here we go. NOA is informed and believes that on that basis, blech, Nintendo is informed and believes, and on that basis alleges that the defendant Ryan Michael Daly is an individual residing in Davidson, Michigan. At all relevant times, defendant has used the online aliases Homebrew Homie and Homebrew Homies, referring to the Twitter, I'm assuming. Defendant is the owner and operator of the website MODDEDHardware.com. Defendant is in the business of selling circumvention devices and hacked consoles and offering circumvention services. Defendant engages in this business primarily via the website, but also via his personal social media account. Defendant admits that he lives in Michigan. Oh boy, wow, he's admitting he lives in Michigan? That's crazy. And has used screen names from time to time. Defendant admits that he owns MODDEDHardware.com. Otherwise denies. He admits he owns MODDEDHardware.com.
So right there, I don't see how he gets out of this, bro.
Something about defendant admits that he lives in Michigan is just fucking
It's almost
hilarious
like,
to me. I don't know why
it's
so
almost
funny to
like
me.
you admitting within the same denials, and they can
Well,
hang
no, 'cause
you on that.
if we scroll back up, where did it say?
Because yes, you're right. There was
Yeah, here
another
we go.
portion up
Defendant
above.
is
Yeah.
the owner and operator of the website MODDEDHardware.com, and then he just has a full blanket denial, meaning that
And
he
said
believes that
denied. Thank you.
everything in this paragraph is not true.
But he states that he is the owner of MODDEDHardware.com.
Which honestly,
Literally pulled
why
it.
even
Like what I'm saying, like he
why
screwed
even
himself.
why even admit that you live in Michigan? Like, why even admit? You might as well just say, nah, bro, I live in fucking Illinois. What are you talking about? I've been a Chicago resident my whole life, bro.
Thank you, or
Bro,
something.
shout out to my
Yeah.
boys in fucking Des Moines, Iowa. We love Des Moines, Iowa, and I've lived there my whole life. Never heard of a Michigan in my life. Like, no. Why bother? You've already denied you own the website. Now you're admitting you own the website. He's also pleading no. He also says no contest to their civil action right below. Why even admit you live in Michigan? Play games with that. Why don't you?
Damn, man. Everybody says, I want to know. See, now, Modded Hardware, if you watching this, man, which you probably are, you probably looking at anybody talking about this. I don't doubt I would, So if you do happen to see this, man, just, do you got any legal counsel want to come up here and speak on your behalf, man? Maybe we can get your public image a little bit better. Because right now, Nintendo gonna make it look bad, man. They're not gonna make it. These answers don't look too good. I'm gonna be honest. And then what they're alleging, I can only imagine what they have. And I know Nintendo might be putting on a good front, bro. They might be. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes in court and when it comes to lawyers, they got a hell of a bluff. It's just like Texas Hold'em, man. I know it's scary, and they might not have anything. And it's a, it's the way they talk the same way. It's possible Nintendo could bluff. Maybe they got one console that he did with some ROMs on it, and nothing else. Everything else is just mod chips. Maybe, right? Maybe they got tons of mod chips, but they got like two
That's the
consoles.
problem. They can do this discovery and find out just how many. If he had just caved, if he was going to not listen to their warnings, if he had just caved as soon as the lawsuit came in, he could have gotten away with a settlement that would have been, you saw the one console, let's just go with you only saw that one console, and I'll still pay you like $50,000. Can we live with that? And he maybe could have gotten away with that. Now, if I was Nintendo, I don't know if I would have been that nice because they were already being relatively nice, and he didn't listen. So
I think he was making a living, man. I think that's how he make his living. Like that's the only thing that makes sense to me. If I had to look at it from any other way, he literally does this. Does anybody know anything else otherwise? Because if you got a chance to if you worked a 9 to 5 job and you did this on the side, and you got a chance to get out of it scot free, you just leave it. You have a job.
I want to know how he cut hair and modded these consoles.
How he what?
Cut hair.
That's amazing. That's amazing, bro. So he was.
Wait,
Because
Yo, that's
he owns a
fire.
hairdressing shop, right?
wait. What did you first say, Magnus?
Doesn't he own a hairdressing website? I mean, a shop?
No, I've never heard of that.
You sure?
He, see, I
I've
believe.
never heard of him owning a hairdressing website, but I'm also not like Googling his
Well,
name.
Hey,
not on the website, but like hair cutting,
I can believe that.
building and stuff.
I can believe that. You know why I'm gonna believe that even more? Because of the fact that typically people who don't there's a lot of people out there who will not check a normal 9 to 5 job, believe it or not. They won't check the
Magnus,
clock.
I was in
And he works, he
Michigan.
gets his money, how he get it. Cutting
Magnus,
hair,
I
mind
was
systems, as he do what he do.
I was in Michigan a couple months ago. You should have told me. I would have stopped by. You're like, hey, yo, can I get a haircut?
Because when he was selling the chips, some of the installers were claiming that, hey, we're gonna go to Michigan, get a chip and get a haircut too.
Get a chip and cuts.
Yeah. So, I mean, I
Chip
could
and
be wrong.
cuts.
I might be somebody else that I'm thinking about,
Well,
but
talk to people you know then, because I want to know what this place was. And the next time I go up to Michigan, I'll go to his. I'll see if he's still running that place while he's paying his debt
Yeah.
off, and I'll get a
Talk
haircut
to your
from
face,
him.
be like, hey man, if it ain't the infamous
Well, actually, you know what? No,
Brian
here's the
Michael
thing.
Daly.
If this guy, listen, I don't know what this guy's solder quality is like, but if it's good, I would trust this guy with my hair, honestly.
Yeah, if you got no lie, that is something that I would say. Telling me that someone could that's like telling me, oh, a doctor that could do heart surgery can cut your hair. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I trust the fucking
You know
heart
what I
surgeon with my hair. I mean,
mean? Dude
goddamn.
is great at the heart. Like that's
Look,
precise.
and
Hell
that's
yeah,
another
he's
thing
good with
too.
a line.
If I lived in Flint, Michigan, or David's his website says Flint, but whatever, we'll go with Flint. If I lived in Flint, Michigan, and I went to this guy's haircut place and was getting haircuts from him for a year, and they were great, and then I found out this dude was doing my switch mod shifts, dude, I'd fucking go to him in person. I'd be like, I'll pay you double to get this back to me in 2 hours because you cut my hair so goddamn well. Like that. That's how much I would correlate those two.
Right. Now, man, anything else we didn't cover on this? Is anything else interesting, juicy in there? A lot of it is just he denied,
Denies
no
jurisdiction of the
contest,
court.
denied,
Doesn't have
and it
sufficient.
seems like he denied. Damn, modded hardware. I'm gonna say outside of that, what else? It was Nintendo updated
Now there's a really good
19.0.
one. Hold up.
And Lockpick just updated. That's funny.
Bro's acting
So
like he doesn't know how the mod chips work. I don't get that.
like
well, most people don't
magnets.
know how the mod chips work.
Magnus said it
Not
best.
at a super deep technical level, but like right here it says hold
He
on.
got a twin, man. He got a twin. Nobody knows
Yeah,
he got a twin.
first as part of the game console's TPMs during the boot process, the Nintendo Switch console performs a series of authentication checks to ensure that the operating system is being used by the console is authentic Nintendo Switch operating system. If a user attempts to load or launch an unauthorized operating system onto a Nintendo Switch, the authentication checks will fail and the console will not operate. I feel like he should know that. I mean, if you're doing mod chip installs, I feel like if you don't know that that's how that works, I get it. He's bullshitting for the lawsuit, but again, he doesn't have a lawyer, so he can't bullshit because he's not a lawyer. He doesn't know how to manipulate the law correctly to bullshit and get away with it. If you don't know at the bare minimum that the Switch checks the operating system, you must make serious change to system in order to make other change to system so that it doesn't know you made that first change. If you don't understand that, you shouldn't be doing mod chip installs because how do I trust that you know what you're doing if you don't know what you're actually doing? Like,
And there's many people out there that don't know what they're doing, but know what they're doing. You know what I mean? Ain't that something? It's go the
oh,
other way.
here we
So
go. This one is straight up only talking about he owns moddedhardware.com, denied. Oh, here we go. Mod chips such as the Pico Fly, RP2040, HW Fly, and Instinct V6.
oh, Pico Fly. They got the RP2040, HW Fly, CV6. Yeah. Marcus on the website as treasures for every Nintendo Switch. Treasures. These are treasures, boys.
Let's see. Any more? Oh, here, MIG devices.
Yeah. That's MIG devices.
Let's see. Do they Vendor sells MIG dumpers and MIG switch devices for $62.99 each, or $120 for the set. And the Mig Shot pages denied. Motherfucker.
Yo, that's
denied all
hilarious,
evidence,
bro.
including the screenshots.
They got it right there, directly from the. Oh my
Hey,
gosh,
guess
man.
what? Look what I got right here. Archive.org. Easy peasy, motherfucker.
And then that's modded. So one thing is for certain, he says he owns the website. In the same document, he also denies he owns the website. So I'm
He
not.
admits he owns the website once and then denies it twice. Like, what does he think that like the more denials than admitting? Like, you admitted it once, which means you're not lying, but you denied it twice.
Well,
So
He's
on one,
bipolar.
if we
His
yeah, maybe in one, did it mention like in one, the first one, it probably says something online. He's the owner operator of a website that sells pirated devices, and he denies that. But
well,
he
but
does agree that he is the owner of modded hardware.
in one of
That's what
them,
I take it as.
in one of them, he agrees he owns the website. In the other, it says the exact same line about he owns the website. Like I
But
think
it
it's
also
literally the
includes the
exact same.
pirated stuff too as well, I believe.
He,
So
he
all in
but
one statement.
he in that one though he admitted he lived in Michigan, admitted that he owned the website, but denied the rest. He could have done that. He could have admitted again that he owned the website, but denied everything else. But he didn't. He denied everything, including owning the website.
Okay.
his
Dang.
bipolar side. He's got
I agree.
Ryan
I'm with
here,
Magnus.
and then he's got modded hardware here. They're two different
You gotta
entities in his body.
that's why he can't get hired at a normal 9 to 5 job. He gotta make his money like, he get it, man. He cut hair, he do chipping cuts, he got chipping cuts, he got a lot going on, he taking medicine, he gotta pay for his own insurance. Like he don't got no damn, no what a Red Cross or nothing. He ain't got none of that. He ain't got no good insurance, he ain't got nothing, man. It's hard out here. And they out here talking. I'm with you, Magus, man. You know what? I'm gonna try to act. It's hard to defend that, right? When you be in court and they be
Oh,
like,
they're only
you just
looking for
gotta
2,500. That's
hold
not
up.
terrible.
With the respect of, hold on. As a direct and approximate result of defendant's violations, is entitled to the maximum statutory damages pursuant to in the amount of 2,500 with respect to each act of offering to the public, provision, or otherwise trafficking in circumvention technology, or such other amounts as may be proper under 17 USC 1203. An alternative pursuant to 17 USC 1203 in a way is entitled to its actual damages, as well as to defendants' profits from these violations, in the amounts to be proven as trial. That sounds to me like it's
Hey
gonna be
Nick,
nasty.
if this goes to trial, do you want to go out to Washington and like document it?
Yo, that would be cool. I'll do
Wait,
that.
what the
I
fuck?
got family out there.
This guy's whole web. This I just realized this guy's whole address is on here.
Damn. It's on, but it's a public document. It ain't like
It's
we
a
did
public.
something.
This is a public document.
We didn't come out there and expose nothing. All right, so everybody know. We didn't go, hey, everybody, look. You know what I mean? It's literally Torn Freak. You can click on it right there. It's right there. It's public. All right, public document.
Where's
Okay, so
the where's the one? Hold on one second. There's one that's interesting.
yeah, okay. And Payne Corp, thank you, Payne. Dab me up, Harry Knuckles and all.
Oh,
But yeah,
or
he
click on it.
agrees. That's kind of exactly what I was saying, because that's what I think. And the one before, they put it all together that he's the owner of the website, but not only the owner, they're stating he's the owner of a website that sells and traffics circumvention devices and also pirated games and a lot of other things. He denies that flatly, right? But he does admit he owns modded hardware, so on the other segment. So he owns modded hardware.
Come on, where is the? Where's the funny one? Oh, here we go. Okay. Defendant denies all allegations in plaintiff's prayers for relief and denies that the plaintiff is entitled to any relief. Defendant denies any untrue allegations or requests not specifically admitted above. Defendant asserts the following affirmative defenses in response to plaintiff's complaint. Defendant reserves the right to allege additional affirmative defenses as they become known throughout the course of discovery. Plaintiff has not stated a claim for which relief can be granted. Plaintiff claims are subject to arbitration clause in the EULA. Forced arbitration. That's funny. I actually wonder if they put him in arbitration for it.
The EULA. That is funny.
Plaintiff's claims are barred by the doctrine of fair use. Interesting. I'm curious to see if he actually attempts to. Okay, I do agree that there is a lot of fair use that Nintendo does not believe exists when it comes to using modded systems, but I'm curious to see where he wants to apply it. I don't think he's going to be able to get away with it, but let's see what happens. If that actually does go to trial and he actually...
But my man Paul, when he mentioned on each, when they said in that one statement of 2,500 for each single infraction, let's say, that would be, he says, each install, each use of a lockpick, each use of sig patches, every game, every element of every transaction. So which means if the transaction was in his favor where he received profits, if there was some other transaction, maybe he didn't even receive profits, but it was through his website. Communications through his website where these things took place. Not necessarily him, but it took place through his website. So and I, like I mentioned before, I said before, discovery process is a nasty process, and I just know that a lot of times people try to not have certain things be used through the discovery process. So, for instance, this is my personal phone. I got a business phone. There's no reason you need my personal phone as well, right? Like you don't need my personal phone. It's not part of my business, and I'm technically being sued. But this is he is part of the business. It's kind of I don't know. This is kind of tricky.
It did technically say they were suing him as an individual doing business as
Doing
that could
business
qualify for
as
both.
right. You see what I mean? It's so I don't know. That's it. I'm not too, I ain't a lawyer, but that's kind of what I'm thinking as far as business and personal, because that is two separate things. If you coming at me for the business is one thing, or with the business I'm doing, but personally, that's a personal cell phone. I can prove it's personal. I can, I don't know. So each his own. But
So his other defenses. Plaintiff. Oh yeah, here it is. Plaintiff's claims are barred by the applicable statute of limitations. What
dang,
the fuck have you done that's under the statute of limitations? I don't think any statute of limitations, except for like maybe, I don't know, running a red light or something, is less than a year. And you've definitely done probably everything in here within 2024. Year's not over, buddy. What statute of limitations exactly?
that's what he claiming. Now my man Payne Court said fair use. Take a look at Power World. Now that's the one we gonna see in court. That's one we'll see in court. Right, and we'll see. That's actually a tough one. Now, Nintendo. A lot of people think Power is not going to fare well in that court case either, right? By some patents that Nintendo has. But Bang says
Business wasn't
Nintendo.
an LLC, had a FANE number, and was registered under a DB. What's a DBA? Doing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and said jailbreaking Fire Stick,
So
for
they
example,
have to
isn't
sue him
illegal,
personally.
even though it can be used for purposes of piracy. All right. Now, what the main question is what exactly do they have him doing? They state right here a lot of what they already have, which is pretty much damn near everything under the sun. They said the everything from mod chips to if you don't want to get your system modded and you're scared to have it opened up, and guess what? I got the MIG for you. Right? I got the thing. My man had to do it all shop, man. I'm not gonna lie, the hard way. It's a beautiful setup, man, because that's how you really supposed to set up shop.
Plaintiffs,
You know what I mean?
Corp,
You want
Corp,
everything.
You may know more than me. Plaintiffs' claims are barred due to latches. What does that mean?
So that's why they have to sue him personally. All right. So I get you now. So that's why they had to sue him personally. And that's why they sue him doing business as.
Doctrine
So
of
technically
latches.
everything is on the table right now, including that personal cell phone, business cell phone, and everything. Because
Oh wait,
he's been
he's
technically
using
doing business the entire time under.
Dude, he's using first sale doctrine. Is he really trying to use first? So, doctrine of latches is legal defense that may be claimed on a civil matter, which asserts that there has been an unreasonable delay in pursuing the claim, filing a lawsuit which has prejudiced the defendant or prevents him from putting on a
Okay,
defense.
I get what he's saying. So it's not a statute of limitation thing. It's more of they have to file a legal
No, he's
claim.
claiming both. He's claiming doctrine. He's claiming doctrine of latches, and he's claiming statute of limitations.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Now I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna see where this holds up because I don't think it's still gonna hold up much. But I'm curious to see. I'm very curious to see. I'm interested now.
Here, here's their example here. So Lisa has a legitimate claim of sexual harassment against her college history professor, but she waits 6 years to file a lawsuit. During that time, the professor has moved on to teach in another state. Other students who may have been witnesses have scattered to go on with their lives, and the school's administration have even seen major changes. Both the professors and college administration may claim the doctrine of latches in their affirmative defenses to the lawsuit. This essentially tells the court that because Lisa allowed too much time to pass without filing a claim, they've been put in an unfair position, as it will be extremely difficult to put on defense this many years after the alleged incident. If the defendants can convince the judge that they're unable to find witnesses and evidence to defend their position, he may dismiss the case based on doctrine of latches. This doesn't fucking apply. If
I
if
was gonna say.
if statute of limitations was already enough of a joke, this is a joke. All of this was this year. There is, you know what you were doing in January. That was a very volatile year. You were very volatile month. You knew what you were doing in January. You are not claiming
Oh,
latches for this. It's crazy.
that is hilarious, man.
Oh, and
Uh,
unclean hands. That was one I also wanted to look at. Was unclean hands.
okay, and unclean hands. So that is. I'm
Wait,
trying to
he's
see
claiming
how this would
fraud?
work in court, man.
An equitable defense that bars relief to a party who is engaged in inequitable behavior, including fraud, deceit, unconscionability, or bad faith,
So
related
I'm
to the
trying to
subject
do.
matter of the.
This is crazy. So I'm trying to think with the doctrine of latches. So if they didn't file something in a timely manner, and they're stating like the situation you gave, so the only thing they would have to prove is that no matter the time, it still doesn't matter. It didn't affect the situation. Like no matter if it was 6 years, 10 years, or 5 years, no matter what, the situation is still would still be the same. If they could just prove, it seemed like a lot of these, even though they still could be easily beat. Like
Well,
I'm trying to get some where I can he can give me some
here's
juice.
here's the thing too. All of this shit was done over the internet. The internet doesn't forget. All they have to do is subpoena. They could subpoena his ISP. They could subpoena his email companies. They could subpoena his his I already said ISP. His web hosting. They could subpoena his financial records. They could subpoena all of this stuff and say, you have this, you have had this. And even if you don't remember, it still exists. It's undeniable. There is no defense. Your defense is going to have to be, look at these records. You should be able to remember them if you're reasonable. So the example that they use for latches about the sexual harassment, that is a in-person time and place event where, if it's in a room without active microphones and cameras, um you know
Did it really
what
happen?
yeah, like what proof do you have after 6 years? So that, that in that case, it makes perfect sense. There's, DNA is probably gone. There aren't cameras and microphones or an electronic receipt of it, so, or at least not a guaranteed one. Whereas this we're talking about a website. We're talking about electronic sales, not cash sales, electronic sales. We're talking about email communication, social media communication, all of that kind of stuff. All of which, or the majority of which, was done in this year or the end of last year.
I would say, Paul, you made a good point there, and that was something I was mentioning. I think Dr. Special, I spoke to you off live about it, and we were talking to, I mentioned about what could come out on this side against Nintendo. And one thing is, if specifically, like you mentioned, so let's say he petitions for specific documents. So if Nintendo's stating, hey, you had this pirated content, and the reason we have this amount that we've come up with is because the pirated content and these other softwares that you shipped have caused damages for this amount.
Ooh.
He could
Well,
then
so
subpoena or actually petition at that point and say, hey, can I get some internal documentation or something showing that the pricing that you're putting these games at is actually factual? And if a lot of these games are not being sold, how do you put a price on a game that's currently not being sold if it stops selling 20 years, 30? Like, I think it's a lot of technicals in there that do seem very interesting.
Well, and that was something that I've always thought is, what if somehow someone came out, and maybe it's Ryan, that actually ends up just randomly becoming this ginormous thorn in Nintendo's side and actually successfully maybe exposes some things, or proves that Nintendo is doing some dirty tactics, and maybe it doesn't necessarily legally harm them, but perhaps it gets them some really bad press for a while, and maybe has their shareholders asking some questions.
No, definitely. Now we're gonna go ahead. The link is in there. I know Payne wanted to come in and go ahead and say something as well. And then soon, we're gonna be wrapping it up soon to everybody. So you ain't gotta worry. We ain't gonna be holding everybody up too much longer. I got some chili dogs and other things, but this is some great information. We're getting a lot of,
Ooh,
and I'm learning a lot too.
play,
I'm going through thinking a lot of these things, finding out a lot. But this is I still think it's screwed.
So I love this. Plaintiff has not adequately pled the identity of the individuals with whom defendant allegedly tortuously interfered. And for those of you who don't know, no, they don't mean torture as in like medieval
Yeah,
torture. It's like the legal speak for damages paid out in a lawsuit, basically. You ever hear people talking about like medical tort reform, or like
yeah,
why healthcare in America is so expensive isn't just due to like corporate greed, but because it's so expensive to have malpractice insurance, because those lawsuits always end up paying like $500 million for a slightly misshapen bone or something, and that tort reform is basically capping the amount that a payout can be. So that's what they're talking about there.
all right, got it. Now, Payne, I'm gonna go ahead and bring you in right now. Payne, you are in. How you doing, man?
Can you hear me?
Yes,
I
sir.
can
Yes,
hear you
sir.
loud and clear, man. So seems like you had some things to add to this, man. And you have great input, man. We love having you here. What do you got to say, man?
So a little bit of input, just something that I had heard you guys state earlier on in the conversation. One of the things being, it doesn't seem like he's putting up much of a defense. His response is just that. It's just a response to Nintendo's claims. It's not necessarily his defense. It's just he's required to respond,
Okay.
and the court has requested that he responds. Anything that he wants to bring to the court's attention will probably be done so at trial. So obviously he's not going to show all his cards yet. He doesn't want to give Nintendo too much of a time to prepare, right? So
Exactly.
if he shows all his cards now, then Nintendo's lawyers have time to prepare a case
Prepare the
and
defense
to
specifically to
respond,
what he's
right?
coming at.
So
And
what
to
you're
defend,
saying is that
exactly.
this could actually get interesting. Could get interesting.
It is more than likely, especially if he hires an attorney last minute, he
Yeah,
very
I
well
said he's got a
could.
higher attorney. I said he will. Yeah, I think
He
he
more
will.
than likely will. I think if he's smart, he will. If he goes to trial by himself, he's going to get eaten alive.
Agreed.
And back to the unclean hands thing. That's a party that's violated unethical. Specifically, this is a
Unequitable.
party who has violated an equitable principle such as good faith. And so I think what he's saying is Nintendo. One of the things I think Nintendo specifically has done is, they allowed this to come to fruition, right? Like they've known
Yeah.
about MigSwitch. They didn't take action previously. They waited until they had the opportunity to violate their IP, allegedly, of course.
Yeah.
And they allowed that to happen. They didn't.
Okay.
Oh shit, he just dropped off for a second.
I dropped out. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
Nintendo got his ass.
They got him.
Oh, you're back.
Yeah.
Oh.
It seems that they've allowed the actions to happen rather than taking preemptive actions, right? Like a cease and desist beforehand, before units were sent out for sale, right?
Well,
Exactly.
that's what they did with what the fuck is it called? Fucking Tom's website. Uber chips. They got him before he even had the shipments in, which is crazy that they were able to get him for so much money.
So exactly what I'm getting at is they had the opportunity to do that. They had the resources to do that. They've known about all these websites, preemptively and allowed these sellers to go ahead and send out products, right? Before, we've had months, right? Like it was back in December that this was announced. A lot of the resellers were put up on the website, no later than middle of January, and so they've had opportunities to stop this in its tracks before it got to this point, right?
They did.
Yeah, and now we got Chinese clones already.
And I'm very curious. So let me ask Payne, what do you think? I honestly think the conclusion is going to be, in Nintendo's favor, but I think it's possible that it may not come out as bad as, and I'm hoping it won't. But it may not come out as bad as some people think.
I think it's going to be bad. Nintendo routinely, even more than routinely, when they go after somebody, when they sue somebody, they win.
They have every year.
There's not been a case where they haven't.
Here's my thing though, Corb, is I'm thinking every single lawsuit I'm aware of Nintendo filing, every single time they fold immediately. This is one of the few times I've ever seen a Nintendo lawsuit actually go to trial. And they have lost before. They lost to Galoob.
Well, people fold.
Yeah, I know you're going to say that.
People, the reason people fold is because Nintendo only takes cases that it's almost guaranteed to win. They don't take cases that they're 50-50 on.
They'll wait 10 years for the information as we see now.
Well, that's like what I'm thinking is going on with Atmosphere. Is they're waiting for a slip. Like I think it's what happened with Ryujinx. They were waiting for a slip up, and I'm guessing some slip up happened, and they had just the right case. And I'm wondering if that's what they're doing with Atmosphere. But
I think the only way he's going to have any chance of winning this at all is obviously he needs to hire legal counsel, and then in addition to that, I do think that if they've got evidence that is admissible and there's no doubt in the court's mind or in the jury's mind if it goes to jury trial, if there's no doubt in their mind that the evidence is real, right? Like they're alleging that he packaged these consoles with pirated content. If he indeed actually did do that, he is 100% without a doubt he's screwed.
He's screwed on those charges. What about the other ones?
He would be screwed on that, but that could also taint the entire case.
I just said that, remember, and that's something I said earlier. I remember you weren't here, but that's something I actually said earlier. Then that could taint everything else, man, and that just ruins.
Because you're going up against potentially going up against a jury, right? And the jury is going to see that, and they're going to see that, let's be realistic here.
Facts.
You're going to have people that don't fully know how this stuff works, and they're going to see black and white. They're going to see, oh, this guy was enabling piracy. Guilty, right?
Yeah, and that's
facts.
That's the issue, though. But I guess, and I don't disagree.
You've got sheep. A lot of people are sheep. They just follow the leader, really. That's how I look at
that's it. And he's right. Once you're painted like that, I don't care what he say. He's right. You try sitting in a room with a bunch of other people, and
what I want to know though is when was Nintendo's last jury trial? I don't know when they had a jury trial last.
Well, it really it's in the discovery process right now, so we don't know that it's going to go to discovery.
It's even going to make it there, yeah.
It may not make it there. There's a couple of ways it could go, and you got two parties that have a decision in that matter. If Nintendo wants it to go to trial, it'll go to trial. If they want to, it really just depends. It depends on if it continues to fight or not. And the reason we haven't seen it go to trial all that often is because
they plea out.
Realistically, the people plea out. They make a deal.
Exactly, and that's the problem. When we look at things like mod chips, we look at things like flashcards. The pirated games are inexcusable, and it's unfortunate that he decided It's unfortunate that he happened to be the man willing to possibly take Nintendo to trial while also being the one doing inexcusable stuff. But let's pass that for a second. Since this is the first time in a very long time that mod chips have gone to trial, that flashcards have gone to trial themselves, and the act of modding a system, not necessarily the piracy aspect, but the act of modding itself, as low as I think it is, I am intrigued at, number one, what could Ryan subpoena out of Nintendo that, again, may not hold any legal hold, but might make people look at this and go, whoa, what the fuck? They've been doing this the whole time? Like when the Giga leak happened and they find out that they were spying on Smea. Like they literally had a literal.
I don't
ninjutsu
imagine
on
we're going to
Smash.
see much on that front.
I
Really.
agree. I think everything he's going to try to petition for, Nintendo's going to try to stop it and give reasons of why you don't need it.
Oh, of course
Why
they
it's
are.
not
But I'm
relevant.
wondering. But if he
And
He's
if
a
I
he
don't
he's a
think you're
does,
going to get
defendant
if
much.
in
he
the case, so
if
it's
he
I don't see it going. I don't see it going there.
not if he needs. Well, if he needs to prove unclean hands, though, maybe he tries to go for something like get some internal
I just
documents.
don't. I don't think that against somebody like Nintendo that's going to be very likely. I mean, there could be some discovery on both parts, but I think for the most part, it's discovery and figuring out if he's guilty of what he's being accused of. And I
And
don't think there's going to be any
And if he's
reverse of
requesting
that.
something, he got to know what the hell he's requesting and what it's going to defend him for. Like
Oh,
With a good
100%.
lawyer, perhaps. I
Yeah,
don't see it
I was
going
gonna
there.
say.
Well, and that's my thing too. Again, the reason why I'm speculating so hard is because again, I'm thinking it's been a long time since this shit's actually gone to trial because everyone pleads out, and quite frankly, I see this as he was already dumb enough to let it get to this point. Why the fuck not just try everything? Try subpoenaing for stuff. Try to get off on at least one of the things so that
Because
maybe you
that's
can
going to
have some
cost
case in the
money,
future.
and it's going to cost more court fees, and it's going to be longer. It takes money. I mean, every time
Well,
you're
he
doing
should have
that,
thought about it when he got 3 different fucking warnings. And also, I looked it up. It looks like he's in a pretty wealthy part of Michigan. I think this guy might have some money behind him outside of the mod ship business. He might actually have some money to play with.
Oh, I can tell you from what I'm aware of from my sources, the guy, I believe he's a watch dealer, like a luxury watch dealer.
okay. Then I was going to say, I mean, he does this, right? If he was
Wait, Magnus, are you still here?
very wealthy, how many
Yeah, I'm
wealthy
still here.
people are doing it? You know what
So
I mean?
what'd you hear about the haircutting business?
When it first came out, when he was selling mix switches and mod chips, they were talking about how some people were going to go see him and get his haircut to get their haircuts.
Chipping cuts.
Yeah, chipping cuts.
You get a chip, you get a mod chip.
Like I said, it was all just pick and play. I mean, I don't know if it was real or not.
Yo, and not only look, that's kind of constant. Now, what if he was actually doing the haircuts, but somebody else was doing the mod chips? It was all a front. We all thought it was one Bernard style. So I'm just trying to throw something out there for the. But he's right. On here, you got to throw everything, because if you throw everything out there, he's right. Nintendo can't really take a good defensive stance to say, hey, these are the things he's claiming. As long as we can just come in fully prepared on these things, we got 100% knock out the park. Now we're kind of saying, okay, even though I think Nintendo almost knows 100% there's not much this guy could even. There would have to be some information that he has that would be detrimental for Nintendo. And what
Yeah.
would he what would he have? You know what I mean?
Just wanted to give you guys a quick goodbye. I'm gonna have to exit the conversation. But
Yo,
y'all have a
and
good
you know
one.
what? We gonna get ready. I gotta get ready to wrap up.
I was
too,
gonna
man.
say
I'm
we already
tired.
looked through this. All this shit it's just some silly defenses.
Yeah, we've been through it, man. So it ain't only, we all gonna wrap it up, Payne. So you ain't the only one, man. I appreciate everybody being here. I'm gonna give my shout outs. Yo, Solo, man, Payne, appreciate you. Magnus, appreciate
Lick.
you coming through. Dr. Specimen, appreciate you. Slick, Chelsea's Way, whoever else I left, I think Paul, that's who it was. Paul, I left you out too. My bad. All right. And we out. That's my getaway. Anybody else got anything to say? Go ahead.
Don't do this shit, please. Oh, let me reiterate something I put in the article. I don't know if the article got published yet, but please, for the love of all that is fuck, if you're gonna be doing mod chip services, please don't sell pirated games with them, because it makes us look even worse than we already do. We already look bad enough with the piracy allegations that we're all just a bunch of pirates. Please don't sell these fucking games with them and make us look even worse. Thank you.
No games, no sig patches. Don't even do homebrew.
Don't even do
You know
homework.
what? You know what?
Literally make them have a document and give them the document to tell them how to do all that shit.
Make your
No,
Nintendo.
don't even do that, because then you're enabling.
Oh damn! You right. You can't even do a PDF. Yo, bro, the information's on the web, bro.
Here's
It's on the
what I
web.
would
It's
do.
out there.
Here's
It's out
two things
there.
I would do. Number one, I would
That's
say
fucked
make
up.
your
It's
Nintendo
hard.
Switch. Make your Nintendo Switch look like a PS5. No games. That's number one. Number two, if I were you, what I would do is do what I said earlier. Now I was kind of joking, but honestly, if you really want to be careful, put the mod chip in. Just put the mod chip in. Test it, and then wipe the firmware off. Like literally wipe the whole firmware off. There you go. Hey, buddy, sorry, you're gonna have to figure out how to put your firmware back on. But
Yeah, I thought about doing that too, but it's bad enough that
They got to go
I
through
I
what they
don't
got to go through.
I don't give them the stuff that they need to run it, as they probably want to. So
Yeah, exactly. And I know it's hard out here, man. I know how it is. I ain't gonna lie, Dr. Specimen. That speech was beautiful because you're right. People don't need to do it, but let's be honest. Somebody's gonna say, "Hey, man, look, I got $500 here, man. Can you set me up with a shop so I can go ahead and just download the games? Then I'm good from there." $500. They're gonna say, "Man, I usually make, I make 150. I'm now gonna jump up to $500. Let me go and put a shop on there. All I gotta do is put a shop. That's it, and that's how it starts. And then you start doing it. Like that's how it really goes. So I'm so glad I got out that business a long time ago, back in Xbox 360 days. So my statute limitation shit is real. Okay, and then you ain't gonna be able. I don't know who out there can say Nick modded my system. You know what I mean? Like that shit is so old. So, but anyways, man, yeah, I'm about to go max some chili dogs and shit. That's what I'm eating tonight. So, everybody, appreciate you. Um, yeah, I think that's last word. Magnus, you got anything? You out? Holla. Deuces.
yeah,
Peace.
like and subscribe.
adios. Please like and subscribe,
Like
and check out
subscribe.
the check out if you're watching this after the fact. Check out Wololo
Yeah, check out Wololo, man. And don't forget, you can still see the
and
modded
Torrent
hardware.
Freak. I would not have seen this. I would not have seen this if it wasn't for Torrent Freak. So shout out to
Yeah.
Torrent Freak, seriously.
Big shout out to Ernesto, man. I always got to shout him out. So, other than that, holla, holla.